WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mississippi is taking more steps to reform the criminal justice system and reduce the number of people behind bars. Courtney Ann Jackson has the latest from today's ceremonial bill signing.
If people don't believe that Mississippi can be innovative, let them look to criminal justice reforms.
This latest bill will become law July 1st. Its main focus, helping offenders re-enter society.
And I just know that there are people out there who have committed nonviolent crimes that needs a second chance on life.
One way the state will give that second chance is with alternative sentencing through mental health, veteran, and drug courts.
Spending too much money on incarceration in the state of Mississippi. So if we can have people that are diverted from our prison system getting the benefit and advantage of intervention courts, I think it's going to be very important.
The law will also remove existing roadblocks for offenders trying to get back on their feet.
A couple of big pieces that are going to impact tens of thousands of Mississippians on day one. The bill helps more people keep their driver's licenses. Right now, Mississippians can lose their driver's license for any drug conviction, no matter how minor.
It will also expand the nonviolent offenses eligible for expungement. And finally, will give offenders the boost they need to get back on their feet.
Now people who were convicted of drug offenses can now receive SNAP and TANF benefits, workforce training, and all of those things that they were denied because Mississippi was one of 3 states that had a lifetime ban on those individuals.
This is not the final step in this program. So you will see new opportunities with our community colleges, new opportunities in workforce development, new opportunities at a federal level very soon that will continue the work that Mississippi began.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Preparations started earlier today for tomorrow's referendum and special election in Starkville. Voting machines were taken to voting precincts and set up this afternoon. Starkville residents will be voting on a 1% restaurant and hotel tax for a new sports complex and improvements at other parks. Now, some will also be casting a ballot in the Ward 5 special election for an alderman. There are a few things, though, voters need to know before you go to the polls.
They need to come with a voter ID, photo ID. They need to know where they're going to vote, and that depends on where they live. They vote in the precinct where they live. If they do not know, they can call the city clerk's office.
Polls will be open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. For nearly 30 years, a program approved by Tupelo voters sets aside money to improve infrastructure and stay ahead of anticipated growth. Most projects for the Major Thoroughfare program meet little, if any, resistance, but a recent decision to expand one of those projects has caused some controversy. Allie Martin brings us an update.
I feel really badly about even complaining or addressing any of this because I've always been such a proponent of anything the city wants to do.
But Doyce Dees believes it is not in the city's best interest to expand a project of the Major Thoroughfare program. In 2016, voters approved Phase 6 of that program. One project included construction of a center turning lane on West Jackson Street between Clayton Avenue and Robbins Street. Last year, Mayor Jason Shelton asked the Major Thoroughfare Committee to expand that project to include an extra block between Robbins and Madison Streets. Dees and other residents of nearby Highland Circle, the oldest planned subdivision in Tupelo, have voiced their opposition.
In cities that I have been in where they've gone through neighborhoods and put in 3 lanes or even more, you immediately see a deterioration, particularly in the homes along the thoroughfare, and I just think it's a bad idea.
Improvements would also mean sidewalks and underground utilities. The price tag for the work from Clayton to Robbins is $6 million. Adding that extra block would boost the total to nearly $9 million.
You know, people typically love progress but hate change, and anytime you have proposed change literally in your backyard, that can cause some concern, and I totally understand that.
Everyone agrees expanding the project from Robbins to Madison would be expensive, but future Major Thoroughfare plans could call for work on East Jackson all the way down to Front Street. Proponents say delaying the work now would cost more down the road.
The cost would be substantially more, especially this underground piece. That's what we have been trying to discuss. Is it in the best interest of the citizens of Tupelo? And how does that weigh against the neighborhoods? Is there a detriment to the neighborhoods? How do we make that determination? How can we say, if this hurts the neighborhood, which we have not seen so far, that we believe it would hurt the neighborhood?
Perkel and other members of the Major Thoroughfare Committee will make a decision on the Jackson Street project during a special meeting Thursday evening. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
The Major Thoroughfare program sets aside a $10 million tax to fund infrastructure projects. The program is approved by voters every 5 years. Time to turn our attention to weather. We'll turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson for a first look at our forecast.
Right now, Andre, in downtown Tupelo, you can see some quiet conditions there. Temperatures are still quite mild here as of the 10 o'clock hour, mainly in the 70s across the region. Doesn't feel too bad out there. We are looking at some low 70s or upper 60s early in the morning, back into the 80s to around 90. Now, there will be a chance for some afternoon showers and storms tomorrow. Looks like the morning hours will be fairly tame, but an actual chance for some rain around here. We haven't had that for a while. There's a lot of rain back to the west right now, but that's really weakening as it comes our way. But can't rule out some rain tomorrow. A little bit lower humidity for Friday and Saturday. The weekend, though, overall is looking pretty good. More in your full forecast coming up.
New at 10 tonight, one man had to be taken to the hospital after a train and truck collide in southern Kemper County. It happened this afternoon. The victim was airlifted after the accident. Kemper County Sheriff James Moore says the train was going south when the driver tried to cross the tracks. The sheriff says it's sometimes difficult to see in that area when crossing the tracks.
You do have stop signs in both places. Maybe with the trees and on this side right here could help if they remove that, but that's on someone's personal property.
Sheriff Moore says the driver is expected to survive. He says it's rare for these type accidents to happen there in Kemper County, especially during the day. A Columbus home is destroyed after a morning fire. Columbus Fire Department Public Information Officer Anthony Colomb says two men were passing by a home on 4th Avenue North this morning when they noticed the flames. No one was home at the time. Colomb says it took firefighters about 30 minutes to get this blaze out. The cause of the fire is under investigation. A suspect is in custody after a brazen armed robbery near two Columbus daycares. The holdup happened on Burns Circle. It was just after 12:45 this afternoon. Police say the victim was robbed and that a gun was used in the crime. Police Chief Fred Shelton would not confirm what type of gun was used. He also would not say whether the holdup happened on daycare property or on the street. Investigators have recovered a gun. The unidentified man is expected to be officially charged tomorrow. No injuries were reported.
80s and 90s back in the forecast for our Thursday. There will be an opportunity for some showers and storms around here. Warmer off to our southeast. Your weekend forecast is next. Stay tuned.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
A pretty nice sunset this evening. That was the view in Aberdeen. Not too bad at all. Hopefully you got out there and took advantage of some of this quiet but warm early summer weather. As we get into the next few days, a little bit cooler Friday, Saturday, some upper 80s, but the big story I think will be lows at night. Much cooler than where we have been. That's just a sign of some drier air that will come on in. And right now, speaking of the dry conditions in Columbus, 17 days without rain. There is an opportunity for a shower storm tomorrow, so let's just hope for the best. I know many backyards, many flower gardens want to see some rain. It was a wet spring, and now it just stopped. That's our off insurance time-lapse cameras from Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy, Louisville, Mississippi. Right there, some pancake cumulus clouds. Pretty nice and stable out there today. Obviously no rain in our neck of the woods right now. There's been some showers and some thunderstorms back to the northwest of Memphis today. You can see where the rain did fall, some spots well over 1 to 2 inches. And over the last 24 hours, more heavy rain back to the west where they do not need any more heavy rain. You can see the rain back there. It is coming our way. It's going to weaken tonight and really just fall apart. We will hope for some regeneration on a scattered basis tomorrow. The strong to severe storm should stay away on Thursday. Rain potential, well, maybe 1/4 of an inch or less if you're lucky. Some spots may not even see anything. So Pretty scattered here, but at least we have an opportunity for a little bit of moisture, something that has not been in the forecast for quite some time. So Futurecast picking up on our rather benign conditions right now. Tomorrow morning, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Notice the front coming back in from the northwest by noon and thereafter. There will be a chance for some scattered showers or storms. We don't envision any strong storms, but we may see a decent little downpour, some thunder and lightning, what have you, as this front moves on through. All the wet weather should go away sometime by mid-evening tomorrow, and then we'll usher in some nice weather starting Friday, and that will carry us into the weekend. Tomorrow, 90 degrees or so, a few showers and storms possible. That rain chance 30%. About 88 in Tupelo, 85 in Boonville, farther to the south, upper 80s to around 90, as we just mentioned. Winds from the south and southwest at about 10 to 15, and upper 80s to around 90 as well for you in West Alabama. Across the region, much hotter in Tallahassee and Jacksonville, a little bit cooler in Oklahoma City, only in the upper 70s. Here's our AccuWeather 7-day forecast. 88 Friday, 89 on Saturday, 92 Sunday and Monday. More heat next week. Pretty limited rain potential for the next 7 days.
The Diamond Dogs roster may be adding a little extra power just in time for regional play. Tom has more a little later in sports. Welcome back, everyone. Memory loss is natural as we age, but when is that memory loss cause for more concern? We learn more in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ashley Harris, geriatrician and chief medical officer at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. Tonight we are discussing one specific type of dementia, Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive disorder that causes brain cells to waste away, resulting in a decline in thinking, behavior, and social skills that disrupt a person's ability to function independently. The early signs of the disease may be forgetting recent events or conversations. As the disease progresses, a person with Alzheimer's disease will develop severe memory impairment and lose the ability to carry out everyday tasks. Current Alzheimer's disease medications may temporarily improve symptoms or slow the rate of decline. These treatments can sometimes help people with Alzheimer's disease maximize function and maintain independence for a time. Different programs and services can help support people with Alzheimer's disease and their caregivers. There is no treatment that cures Alzheimer's disease or alters its process in the brain. In advanced stages of the disease, complications from severe loss of brain function, such as dehydration, malnutrition, or infection, result in death. Everyone has occasional memory lapses. It's normal to lose track of where you put your keys or forget the name of an acquaintance. But the memory loss associated with Alzheimer's disease persists and worsens, affecting the ability to function at work or at home. A number of conditions, some that are treatable, can result in memory loss or other dementia symptoms. If you are concerned about your memory or other thinking skills, talk to your doctor for a thorough assessment and diagnosis. If you are concerned about symptoms you observe in a family member or friend, talk about your concerns and ask about going to a doctor's appointment together. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss another form of dementia, Lewy body dementia.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Ethan Small gets recognition on the big stage, a first for Mississippi State baseball. Find out more next in sports.
Sports with Tom Ebel.
One of the most dominant season-long pitching performances in Mississippi State baseball history is getting national recognition. Junior Ethan Small becomes the first Mississippi State pitcher to be named a finalist for the College Baseball Foundation National Pitcher of the Year. Small already has collected the SEC Pitcher of the Year thanks to a stellar season, posting an 8-2 record with a 1.8 ERA, one of 5 pitchers in the NCAA with 90 innings of work to throw a 1.8 or lower. Small is second in the NCAA in strikeouts and looks to become the 3rd Bulldog to record 300 career strikeouts. Mississippi State's offense fizzled in the SEC tournament, but a key member of the lineup is hoping to return just in time for postseason play. Head coach Chris Lamona says Elijah McNamee will continue swinging the bat in preps this week for the regional and hopes to know more on McNamee's status by Thursday. Elijah McNamee has missed time since May 12th after aggravating a foot injury against Ole Miss. The Diamond Dogs know Mac brings the clutch gene when the postseason rolls around.
He's very eager, it's a big bat in the middle of the lineup that we need. Everybody saw what he could do last year in postseason play. So obviously getting him back is going to help us a lot, and we're all ready for him.
He's a great player, he's a great player, and he's got the clutch gene, and that's all it is. So we're looking forward to him. He's going to perform in the clutch, and he's going to perform day to day. So we're excited for the chance to have him back in the lineup and a leader in our team and our locker room. I'm just really excited that he's getting healthy.
He's not going to miss this, so he'll be all right. I hope he's out there for us this weekend, but we'll see how it goes. The body's a crazy thing. I don't know where he's at. I haven't really talked to him about it, but I know he's going to do everything he can out there.
For Ole Miss, reaching its first Super Regional since 2014 is the main goal this weekend, but it's also about redemption. The Rebels will look to avenge last year's upset at home to Tennessee Tech, a season where the number 4 national seed fell short on the Oxford Regional's final day. The starting lineup is full of guys that experienced the disappointment, but the mood in the locker room this year is, well, new year, new result.
A little bit. We have some guys back from last year, and obviously we want to put on a good show for the hometown crowd. But it'll motivate some of the older guys that played a lot last year, to not end that way again. But it's a new season. And we're just going to have to take it step by step and, play those games one at a time.
Every year you get a different club. Every year, even with a lot of returners, they're different. They're older, they're wiser, hopefully they're better players. But I know it does drive some people, and I'm sure it drives a lot of those guys in the locker room, and a lot of them, might be their last, time at this. And so I know that they've mentioned that, they want to leave their mark. Everybody wants to leave their mark here.
In college softball, time to name some of the best of the best. Softball America releasing its first ever All-American team. Ole Miss head coach Mike Smith named second team head coach after leading Ole Miss to its second ever Super Regional appearance. The Rebels outfielder Kylan Becker named to the first team, as well as Mississippi State catcher Mia Davidson. The Bulldogs' Fa Leilua named second team All-American as well. Ole Miss assistant coaches Ruben Felix, Ashley Chastain, and Katie Reeves also recognized by Softball America. Also, the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association choosing the trio for its All-American teams. Becker named to the first team yet again. Mia Davidson named to the third team for the NFCA, and Fa Leilua being named to the second team as well. Becker becomes Ole Miss's second ever NFCA All-American, and the pair of Bulldogs are the program's first since 2010. The College Softball World Series kicks off tomorrow in Oklahoma City. There's only 2 SEC teams remaining, Florida and Alabama. Florida, their first pitch at 6 p.m. tomorrow. They're taking on Oklahoma State. Alabama taking on Oklahoma in the late first pitch at 8:30 p.m. That's it for sports. We'll have last year's forecast coming up right after the break.
We have a big batch of rain and storms to our west, but that's really going to fall apart before it gets here tonight. However, we may see a little bit of redevelopment tomorrow, just a 30% chance of rain on our Thursday. We need the rain, Andrea. It's been very dry for weeks here. We'll take a little rain if we can get it, but it's not guaranteed. Nice weather for the weekend, warmer again next week.
If we get a little moisture tomorrow, no one's going to complain because I've seen sprinklers working these yards around the area.
We've gone from a flood to nothing.
Yeah, but heat.
Yes.
All right, that is the news at 10 o'clock, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening.